This is the difference between a coach and like a therapist. Therapists are usually working with the past. Coaches are coming up with the plan for the future. Where do you want to go? What's the play? A coach has had their own experience or guided other people through experiences. What's the play? You had this psychedelic experience or big realization. Now what? What resources and support can you, the coach, offer? And honestly, it's why I'm such a proponent of the Condor Approach method, the book, which will be on Amazon. You can pre-buy now, but you'll be able to, it ships on May 18th. If every coach just used the book with clients and then gave feedback and support, you're encouraging self-reflection, which is key. You're promoting self-care, but you're doing it through radical self-honesty and responsibility of the individual. Because so many people go to, whether it's power plants or mushrooms or other psychedelics, because they're giving their power away. They want the thing to fix them, or they want the coach, the facilitator, the shaman to fix them, but without encouraging self-reflection and self-care through radical self-responsibility and action, you're not going to get the results that you could get, and not from a outcome-based results, but from a functional. And are you going to keep journeying every month and not have that conversation you're supposed to have with your boss or your child or your mother or whoever, and you keep running back to source to feel good just long enough to bypass or buffer or skip the true things that are messing with you? What you say, wee, right? What's funky with you? What's fun with you? What is going on? Because until then, you're probably not going to get the same results. And this is something top people ask us, how did we get here? And I would say I'm more shocked how often people think that the way that we are is just the way that we've always been. Like we just emerged from the womb this way.
By osmosis. This is diffusion. We just were born this way.
Or I just took enough mushrooms that this is like the genetic predisposition or post disposition, whatever that word would be. We have intentionally, since the day we got together, made decisions together and said, all right, so what do we need to know, do, be, or understand to make that happen or not do that? And at the beginning, it was like, I don't want to do that. How do we not do that we've done in past relationships, our first marriages, our past edicts of ourselves? And most people won't lean into that in new relationships. They're afraid of putting someone off. And I remember saying to you, look, can we not do the game thing where if you want to text me or call me, you just do, and if I want to text you or call you, I just do, and if you don't want to, you just tell me, or if you're not available, you just tell me? And you're like, yes. And that's where our relationship started. I already knew I wasn't going to settle, and yet I would still date people and enjoy my life, but I was not going to have this idea of my person or attaching to a concept. So I just said, well, I'm going to be so honest with this dude. He either leans in or runs in complete horror, terror, and fear. And here we are 11 years later, or whatever it is now.
In complete horror
Daily.
Daily. Listen, we moved through our stuff. And when we first got together, there was a lot of stuff from the past that we hadn't integrated. So we had to integrate our stuff and our experience and talk about it and be open about it and create safe containers for our individual selves and for us as a collective of two people plus Henry and now Cupcake, right? For us all to be together in a space where we can be in flow. This is a crafting space and we are consistently integrating. Integration does not end, y'all. Integration is not optional. It's always happening. How you integrate is the option. And that's what we provide at the Condor Approach, is an option for you to be able to actually integrate the way you choose to, not the way it's been chosen for you. And this is the difference between sovereignty and slavery, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the difference between sovereignty and slavery. You can be a slave to your old stuff. You can be a slave to society. You can be a slave to your parents. You can be a slave to your fears around what people will think about you. You can be a slave to all kinds of stuff. And you can be sovereign. It doesn't stop you from living in a society. It doesn't stop you from being a part of society. And how society has an influence over you is your choice when you are aware that you have a choice. And you've got to integrate the idea that you do have a choice. Okay, when you do have a choice, you can influence things differently. For me, control is an idea. It's a nice idea. It's a nice concept. It's a nice belief structure. I don't believe we have control. I believe influence is a potential.
If you're called, get involved. But first, get informed. Let's talk the 4 N's: intake, intention, in-space integration, leading to deeper transformations. Psychedelic Coach Podcast, Todd Cole. Walk you through the process, it's all possible. Leave space for the follow through. Most importantly, integration is not optional.